so here's a video on how to graph absolute value functions. So let's take a look at a normal absolute value. Remember, this is called the parent function. Okay, so remember when we get a table, here are my x values, here are my y values. If I start with -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, if I were to put -2 in this absolute value, the absolute value means you take the positive number, so then my answer would be a +2. Same thing if I put a -1 in the absolute value bars, that would give me a +1. And then if I put a positive number in the absolute value bars, it just remains that positive number. Okay? So your graph of absolute value x will always look like this. You will have -2, +2, -1, +1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 2. So notice you will always get a V-shaped, and you can always get that by going up and over, up and over, up and over. So this is what absolute value of x graph looks like. It will start at the origin, 0, 0, go up and over with points. Same thing on the left side, remember, because it cannot be negative, so you go up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. So that is how you draw the parent function. So let's take a quick look. Remember, the parent function is y equals absolute value of x. And so now we're going to talk about how we can translate it, and that just means change our function. Okay? So the equation would be y equals m, absolute value bar, x minus h plus k. Your m is going to stand for your slope. Okay? So your slope is going to go outside of those absolute value bars. This h is going to stand for horizontal, and that means left or right. Remember, you have to change your sign. So if that was a -2 in the absolute value bar, you would have to change that to a +2 on the outside. Okay? So those absolute value bars change your sign on the inside. And then K is going to stand for vertical. I don't know why it's a K. So vertical is going to mean up or down. So if the number is positive, you're going to go up. If the number is negative, you're going to go down. So the only thing that changes is in this middle part. If your H is positive or negative, you will have to change your sign. Okay? So let's take a look at some examples. Let's talk, first I'm going to graph absolute value of x. Actually, no, I'm not. We're not going to do that because I know you can graph absolute value of x. We're going to graph absolute value of x plus 2. So notice, if it is on the outside, that's going to move it up or down. And since it's positive, that means I'm going to go up 2. So instead of starting at 0, 0, I'm going to move my point up 2. Okay? So now I can do my slope, which is just a 1 over a 1. So I'm going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. And I'm going to keep doing that on that right side. Same thing for the left side. I'm going to go up into the left to get that V. Once you do that, you're going to connect your points. And so that is how you would graph absolute value of x plus 2. So if it is on the outside, that means you're going to go up 2 because it's positive, and then draw your V shape. Okay, again, we will always have V-shaped problems. All right, let's look at the next one. On the next one, I have absolute value of x minus 3. So remember, if it is on the outside, that is up or down. And so this is going to be down 3 because it was negative. So starting at the 0, 0 point, I'm going to move my cursor down 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to make my point. And now I'm going to do my slope, which was 1 over 1, and go up and over, up and over, up and over. Keep going. To get the left side, I'm going to go up into the left. And continue to do that. So that is what absolute value of x minus 3 would look like. Okay? So those are how you shift something vertically up and down. Let's take a look at shifting something horizontally from left to right. So here, notice my number is inside of the parentheses, or the brackets, or absolute value bars. That's what they're called. If they're on the inside, you're going to have to change your sign. So you're going to change the sign. So since that was a -4, that's going to become a +4. Okay? +4, you're either going to go left or right. Now, since 4 is positive, that means I'm going to go right 4. So, you do not go -4, you do the opposite. So I'm going to go right 4 on the x-axis. So go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to make my point. And then I'm going to do my slope, which is the 1/1 to get the v. So I'm going to go up 1/1, up 1/1, up 1/1. Same thing on the left. You're going to go up and left, up and left. So once you've got enough points to draw your V, go ahead and draw that V. Okay? So again, if it's -4, what you think to do is go to where x is a -4, but it is the opposite because it is in those absolute value bars. Okay? Let's turn the page now. We're going to look at y plus 6 on the inside. So since it is on the inside, I'm going to change that to a -6. -6 is going to mean left 6. So I am going to go left 6 first. So start at 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to make my point. And then I'm going to do my slope of 1/1. So up 1/1, up 1/1 to get the right side of the V. Same thing, up and left to get the left side of the V. Just go as far as you can. And so that is what absolute value of x plus 6 looks like. So again, it's opposite of what you think it is. Okay? All right, let's look at writing some equations. So I need to write the equation depicting this shift. So remember, here is my generic equation, x minus h plus k. Remember, this is left or right, and this is up or down. All right, so on the first one, it says it's going 11 units up. So that means I'm going to put it at the end. So I would start with y equals. There is nothing in the absolute value bar since it is going up or down. So I'm going to add a number on the outside for up. So I would add 11. Okay? So if it happens on the outside, that is going to be up or down. You will need to add a number on the inside if it's left or right. Looking at this problem over here, 9 units to the right, that means it's going to go on the inside. So I would say y equals absolute value. I know there's an x in there, but now I need to figure out if it's plus or minus. So note if it's 9 units to the right, that is going to mean a positive 9, which really means it's a negative 9 on the inside. Okay? So right means positive, but if you're putting it in there, you got to change the sign. So it should be y, or x minus 9. And then there's nothing on the outside for that one. All right, let's look down here. I have 14 units down. I know if it's going up or down, it's on the outside, so I'm just going to have absolute value of x by itself on the inside. If it's going down, I do know that's a subtraction, and they're going down 14 units. Okay? Again, left or right are tricky. So if you go to the left 4, you would think it's -4, but you have to change your sign. So it would be a positive 4. So you would have y equals, it's going to be on the inside because it's going left or right, and then it would be a positive 4. Okay? So again, if you're going left or right, you are going to have to change your symbol. Right, you would think it would mean positive, but it actually means negative. Left actually means negative, but in this case it would be a positive because we have to do the opposite. All right? So that is how you write an equation in words, or from words. The next one, we're going to do a little combination. We're going to have multiple things going on. Okay? So here is an important thing. your vertex is h comma k. And vertex is just the center point of that absolute value bar, okay? So if we can turn these numbers into h and k, because remember, it's y equals m x minus h plus k. If I can take the vertex from that, then I can graph my problem. So the 3 is going to be my k, and so that's going to go on the outside. Remember, that doesn't change the sign or anything. To find the h, I am going to change the sign to a positive 1. Okay? So my vertex would be a positive 1, positive 3. So the next thing I'm going to do is graph that vertex and go over 1, up 3. So there is my vertex. So now I can do my slope, which is just a 1 over 1, and go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So once you have that vertex, you're just going to do your slope from those 2 points. A good thing to note on this is, remember, the domain is always all real numbers. The range. So notice how my graph moved up 2, or up 3 actually. So the lowest point would be right here, and that is at when a y is greater than or equal to a 3. So I forgot to tell y'all yesterday that that should be an equal sign with that. So it's the lowest point. It's also the y point in your vertex always. So for you're doing the range, when you're doing the range, it's always going to be your y point right here. Okay? Let's look at the next example. Let's change this problem a little bit and put a negative on the outside. And we'll talk about that. So first I'm going to get my vertex. So I'm going to change the sign in the bars and get -3. I'm going to keep that sign on the outside. So my vertex is -3, -7. So I need to graph that down here. So I would go -1, 2, 3, -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's right here. Okay, so that is my vertex, -3, -7. If there is a negative number on the outside, that means your problem is going to open down. So your slope is actually a -1 over 1. So what you're going to have to do is start at that point, and you're going to go down 1, and then right 1. Down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. You're also going to go down and left. So notice, all that happens is that V is opening down instead of opening up. So again, if there is a negative number on the outside, that means the negative slope, which means it's going to open down. All right, couple more. Let's change this problem a little bit and put a 2 on the outside. So my vertex again is going to be a +8, -1, because I need to change that sign in the bars. So I'm going to go over 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and down 1. Sorry, I'm going fast because the time's about to end. So now my slope is going to be a 2 over 1. So instead of going up 1, I'm going to go up 2. So I go up 2 over 1, make a point. Up 2 over 1, make a point. Same thing on the other side. Up and left, up and left. Just make sure you're going by 2s. So notice your graph is getting a little skinnier. So if you have a number on the outside, you are going to have to go up and over by that slope. Last problem really quick. Change this problem by putting -1/2. That means I'm going to start at a 0, 0 because there was no numbers to change that. What that means is my slope is going to be a -1 over 2. So instead of going up 1, I'm going to go down 1 and over 2. Down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. Exactly on the same side, I'm going to go down 1 and the other way too, because you always need to have a V. So notice that graph got a lot wider because it was a fraction. Remember, fatty fraction. Okay, thank you for watching Absolute Value. If you got a question, raise your hand. Start on your IXL.